Welcome to a space filled with knowledge that has the power to transform every single one of our lives. Today, I want to share a topic that is not only important, but truly urgent for anyone over the age of 65, and for those who have parents or grandparents in that stage of life. Because this isn't just a story about health. It's a story about dignity, about confidence, about staying strong in the face of time, just like the resilient spirit of America. We all know that memory is the map of our lives. It holds the faces, the moments, the names, the loving words, everything that reminds us of who we are. But here's a frightening truth. Memory doesn't disappear in a single moment. It fades slowly, quietly, slipping away like sand through our fingers. And the danger lies in this. Most of that decline comes from habits that seem harmless, the things we repeat every day without realizing they're chipping away at our clarity. Today, I want you to pause for just a moment. Take a deep breath, because what you're about to hear could be the turning point that helps you or someone you love protect their memory, their independence, and the quality of life we all deserve. Americans have a very clear philosophy. If you want to change the future, start by changing the way you live today. And to do that, we must first understand which everyday habits are quietly holding us back. The 4 habits in this video are the key. Remove them, and you've already walked half the journey toward preserving a sharp mind and living with strength and independence, no matter your age. So if you truly care about your brain health or want to protect the memory of someone you love, do one simple thing right now. Comment the number 1 below this video. That small action is a promise, a commitment to understanding, to changing, and to giving your future a better chance. Commenting 1 not only ensures you get the full, essential content, but also helps the algorithm bring valuable information like this to more people. Your action today might be the very thing that helps someone out there avoid early memory loss or hold on to precious moments with their family. Remember, age has never been the end of the story. Age is a challenge, and anyone willing to change can overcome it. Let's continue this journey together. And before we begin, don't forget, comment the number 1 right now to unlock the full video and discover what so many older adults have been unknowingly overlooking for years. Are you ready? If you are, let's dive into the main content. When people talk about memory and mental sharpness, they often assume it's simply a problem of aging, that growing older means accepting a weaker brain, accepting forgetfulness as something inevitable. But the truth is, that's not how it works. Modern neuroscience has made one thing very clear. The human brain does not deteriorate randomly. It responds directly to the way we live, the way we eat, the way we sleep, and the way we interact with the world around us. In the United States, where healthcare systems and scientific research lead the world, experts have spent years analyzing hundreds of thousands of older adults, and they reached a powerful conclusion. Certain drivers of memory decline are entirely within our control. Not medications, not costly therapies, but habits, the simple, everyday behaviors that influence the brain more deeply than most people ever realized. Think of the brain as the engine of a finely crafted vehicle. No matter how advanced that engine is, if the fuel is poor, if the parts are neglected, if it is constantly pushed under stressful conditions, its performance will eventually drop. The brain is the same. It doesn't weaken simply because of age. It is worn down by the behaviors we repeat every day, often without even noticing. And this is why the 4 habits we're about to uncover matter so much. Not to make you worry, not to paint a dark future, but to give you a clear, actionable path, one that shows memory is not determined by fate. It's something we can protect, as long as we know where to start. Americans have a defining spirit. They don't give up when faced with a challenge. When confronted with the threat of cognitive decline, they don't rely solely on medication, they change their lifestyle. They move more, eat smarter, sleep better, stay socially active, and in return, they maintain clarity, independence, and confidence, the priceless assets of old age. Because the most frightening thing isn't forgetting a name or a small event. The most frightening thing is losing yourself, losing the ability to live life on your own terms. But you can absolutely prevent that. And the first step is understanding which habits are quietly undermining your focus and your memory. Right now, Give yourself a moment of calm. Be open and ready to hear the truth, even if it's a little uncomfortable, because it is deeply necessary. After decades of research in aging and brain health, experts agree on one thing: timely action can make an extraordinary difference. We are now entering the most important part of this journey. And to begin, the very first issue, the foundation beneath nearly every problem related to memory, is physical activity. Let's explore it together. Habit 1: lack of physical activity. When people think about memory, they often think of vitamins, brain supplements, or mental exercises. But there's one truth that scientists in the United States have emphasized for years: nothing activates the brain's power more effectively than physical movement. The brain needs blood. The brain needs oxygen. The brain needs strong circulation to maintain the connections between billions of neurons. And inactivity is the silent force that cuts off that lifeline. Imagine your body as a vast city. The brain is the central command tower, and the circulatory system is the highway network carrying energy to every corner. When those highways slow down because of inactivity, the energy supply to the brain drops. The result? Memory begins to blur, reaction time slows, and focus becomes fragile. Not because the brain is weak, but because it isn't being nourished properly. In the United States, people understand this well. You'll see seniors in their 70s and 80s walking every morning, cycling, or joining exercise clubs. They're not trying to become young again, they're keeping their minds sharp. Science has proven that just 20-30 minutes of light physical activity each day can significantly boost blood flow to the brain, stimulate the regeneration of neurons, and slow the progression of memory decline. Yet many adults over 65 fall into a cycle. They avoid physical activity because they feel tired, but the less they move, the more tired they become, and the more their memory suffers. Then they blame age instead of their habits. This misunderstanding has cost millions of people their mental clarity, even though the solution is remarkably simple. Think of yourself standing in front of two doors. One leads to sluggishness, fatigue, and constant forgetfulness. The other leads to alertness, confidence, and independence. And the key to that better door is movement. You don't need intense workouts. You don't need to run. You only need to start. A slow morning walk, a few gentle stretches, a lap around the house. Every time you move, you're sending a signal to your brain: I am alive, I am fighting, and I need you running at full power. And when you maintain that habit, you will feel the difference. You become clearer, you remember better, your mind feels refreshed, as if a new energy has been switched on. This isn't magic. This is science. And it's a right that anyone at any age can claim. Before we move on to the second habit, a habit even more harmful, and one that many people unknowingly fall into, I want to ask you a simple question. Are you moving enough? If you believe physical activity is essential and you're ready to make a change, comment 1. If you're unsure and want more guidance, comment 0 so I know you need additional support. Let's continue. The next habit may be causing memory decline faster than you realize. Let's uncover it in the next section. Habit 2: uncontrolled eating. If lack of movement slows the flow of blood to the brain, then uncontrolled eating is what damages the quality of that blood. And this is a habit most people over 65 fall into without realizing how dangerous it truly is. In the United States, nutritionists and neuroscientists have repeatedly warned that what we put into our bodies every single day can either nourish the brain or poison it. Memory cannot function well when neurons are surrounded by excess sugar, unhealthy fats, and toxins from processed foods. Look at the modern American diet. Fried foods, fast food, sugary drinks, pastries, packaged snacks. All of these are loaded with sugar and saturated fats, forcing the brain to fight inflammation and oxidative stress, two of the fastest destroyers of memory. When blood sugar stays elevated, the brain becomes overwhelmed. Neural connections, the foundation of memory, grow weaker and slower. As we age, the ability to regulate blood sugar declines, magnifying the damage. This is why so many older adults, even those who are not diabetic, feel foggy, unfocused, forgetful, or disoriented. That is not normal aging. That is the consequence of diet. Saturated fats and repeatedly heated oils create another threat. They cause buildup inside blood vessels, restricting circulation to the brain. When the brain is undernourished, memory decline is inevitable. Numerous studies in the U.S. show that improving just 20% of your diet can reduce the risk of cognitive decline by nearly 40%. That number alone reveals how powerful nutrition truly is for brain health. But here's the real issue. Many people have eaten this way for decades. They think diet only affects weight, blood pressure, or heart health, and they never realize the brain is the first organ to suffer. By the time symptoms appear, forgetting familiar names, misplacing items, missing appointments, the damage has already been building quietly for years. The good news: nutrition is one of the easiest factors to change, and the brain has an extraordinary ability to recover when given the right environment. Fresh foods, low sugar, low oil, plenty of vegetables, fruits, nuts, and fish, especially fatty fish, have all been proven to enhance memory, protect neurons, and reduce inflammation. These aren't vague recommendations. They are conclusions drawn from hundreds of studies conducted by top universities and research institutes across the United States. Sometimes, even a single small change each day makes a real difference. Replacing a soda with water, swapping fried chicken for lean meat or steamed fish, replacing a sugary pastry with fresh fruit. These small choices have the power to reshape the entire trajectory of your brain health. Eating is not just a habit, it is the way we treat our brain. And if you truly want to protect your memory to preserve clarity, independence, and dignity as you age, everything starts with what's on your plate. In the next section, we will dive into a factor even more crucial than nutrition, one that, when lacking, weakens the brain faster than anything else: sleep. Let's continue exploring. Habit 3. Poor quality sleep. Among all the habits that can damage human memory, poor sleep is the most dangerous. It doesn't just drain your energy, it robs the brain of its ability to regenerate. Sleep is not simple rest. It is the moment when the brain performs its most critical work: cleaning, repairing, and strengthening memories. If your sleep is shallow or insufficient, all three of these essential processes break down. In the United States, neurological and aging research centers have repeatedly warned when adults over 65 sleep fewer than 6 hours a night or experience fragmented sleep, the brain cannot complete its neural waste cleanup. Toxic proteins, especially beta amyloid, begin to build up, forming plaques directly linked to Alzheimer's disease. The frightening part is that this process happens silently, without pain or early symptoms, until one day memory loss becomes undeniable. Imagine the brain as a glowing city at night. Neurons are constantly working when we're awake, producing countless bits of informational debris. During deep sleep, a specialized cleaning system activates, sweeping those remnants away to prepare for the next day. But if you toss and turn every night, wake up repeatedly, or fall asleep in a state of stress, that city never gets cleaned. It becomes cluttered, congested, and increasingly dysfunctional. Lack of sleep doesn't just weaken memory. It reduces focus, increases confusion, and makes older adults more easily disoriented or irritable. Even a single night of poor sleep can impair cognitive function to a level comparable to a young adult who has stayed awake for 3 consecutive nights. That's how powerful sleep is in shaping brain performance. Yet many people over 65 accept insomnia as normal aging, but science has disproven that belief. Sleep issues do not come from age itself. They are consequences of lifestyle, stress, late dinners, prolonged screen exposure, poor diet, or physical inactivity. In other words, things we can absolutely change. Quality sleep requires rhythm, going to bed and waking up at consistent times. A stable internal clock allows the brain to maintain its cleaning and repair cycles. Blue light from phones, caffeine, alcohol, or heavy nighttime meals disrupt that rhythm. And once that sleep cycle is disturbed for too long, the brain begins to sound the alarm. Forgetfulness, memory decline, anxiety, and even depression. In major U.S. hospitals, doctors often say something remarkably powerful. Sleep is the strongest free medicine the human body has. No exercise routine and no supplement can replace the brain's natural ability to heal itself during deep sleep. Think about this. When you sleep, your brain does not rest. It works for you. It repairs the damage accumulated throughout the day. It strengthens the memories you want to keep. It removes the toxins that threaten your cognitive clarity, and it prepares you to wake up sharper, stronger, and more focused. Poor sleep is one of the fastest ways to destroy memory, but it's also one of the easiest habits to fix if you start today. And once you do, you will have taken a major step towards safeguarding your cognitive health. In the next section, we will explore the fourth habit, one tied directly to emotional well-being, mental resilience, and overall health: social isolation. Let's continue. Habit 4, social isolation and lack of connection. If physical activity nourishes the body, nutrition nourishes the cells, and sleep nourishes memory, then human connection is what nourishes the spirit and keeps the brain functioning like a living, vibrant machine. Social isolation, especially in adults over 65, not only leaves the heart feeling empty, but also weakens the brain far faster than most people realize. Research in the United States has proven that when older adults stop communicating, stop having conversations, and stop engaging socially, the regions of the brain responsible for language, emotion, and memory begin to slow down. It is like a door left unused for too long, the hinges start to rust. Memory behaves the same way. The less it is used, the faster it fades. Isolation doesn't only come from living alone. It comes from thoughts like, I don't want to bother anyone, I'm used to being by myself, or nobody needs me anymore. But those beliefs are exactly what destroy human connection. In America, where many seniors live independently, researchers have warned that chronic loneliness causes damage equivalent to smoking 15 cigarettes a day. It increases the risk of cognitive decline, weakens memory, and even shortens lifespan. Imagine the brain as a garden. When no one walks through it, no voices, no laughter, no new experiences, it slowly becomes overgrown and neglected. Memory weeds spread, and the flowers of intelligence stop being nurtured. But just one conversation, one greeting, one small community activity can bring that garden back to life. Older adults don't need long, hours-long conversations. They simply need connection, a morning walking group, a family gathering, a few minutes on the phone with children or grandchildren, or even a casual chat with a neighbor. Every interaction acts like a workout for the brain, forcing memory to activate, emotions to engage, and the spirit to reawaken. Aging studies in the United States consistently emphasize that social interaction is one of the strongest protectors of brain health, often more effective than many medications designed to support memory. Humans are built for connection, and when we separate ourselves from the world, the brain is the first to weaken. Social isolation doesn't just harm memory, it contributes to depression, anxiety, cognitive decline, and increases the risk of dementia. But the beauty of this habit is that it can be changed instantly. A single small action, starting a conversation, joining a community group, or simply stepping outside to interact with the world immediately sends the brain a message of recovery. And sometimes, what an older person needs most isn't medicine or supplements, but a sincere exchange of words. Even something as simple as, "How are you today?" can make a profound difference. Now, I want to ask you a gentle but important question. Are you withdrawing from others, or are you trying to stay connected? If you realize you need to open up more, comment 1. If you feel you've maintained strong connections, comment 0 and share your experience to help others. We're about to move into the final section, the part where all the insights come together into one clear, complete picture. Let's continue this journey. A powerful message. As we walk through these 4 habits, habits that seem harmless yet silently erode memory, the truth becomes unmistakably clear. The human mind does not weaken because of age. It weakens because of the way we live each day. And that means we have the power to change our future, as long as we are willing to begin today. Movement is the rhythm of the body. The moment we move, blood flows boldly toward the brain, nourishing each neuron like sunlight warming a winter morning. Eating well does more than keep us healthy. It creates a clean, supportive environment where the brain can function smoothly, remember clearly, and remain sharp for years to come. Sleep, the natural gift our body grants us, is the time when the brain repairs itself, renews its strength, and prepares us for a new day with clarity. And finally, communication, connection, and sharing are the spiritual currents that brighten the heart, awaken the mind, and remind us that we still belong to this world. No expensive medication can replace these 4 pillars. No miracle can restore memory if our lifestyle undermines it day after day. But the remarkable truth is this: the moment you change even one small habit, the brain begins to recover. That is the power every human being possesses, the power of choice. In the United States, senior wellness programs consistently highlight one message: old age is not decline. It is the chapter where life can be deeper, more meaningful, and more deliberate. If we know how to protect our memory, because when memory remains, independence remains. When memory remains, dignity remains. When memory remains, you retain the right to shape your own life. And above all, you retain the ability to remember the people you love, the faces, the stories, the moments that built your life. Memory is not merely data. It is identity. It is spirit. It is the root of every action and every decision. And like any precious asset, it must be protected, nourished, and strengthened with intention. If today you have come to understand that these 4 habits can quietly steal the most important parts of your life, then you already hold the key to preserving what is most beautiful. Change is not always easy, but it is always worth it. Every small step fortifies the brain, brightens the mind, and transforms aging into a season of freedom, not fear. Remind yourself of this: you have the right to remain sharp. You have the right to remain strong. You have the right to walk past 65 with confidence, knowing your body, understanding your needs, and caring for yourself with purpose. And most importantly, you have the right to hold on to the memories that shaped who you are today. Let 4 good habits replace the 4 harmful ones. Start with one small decision, and allow your brain to live with the strength it was designed to have: sharp, resilient, and full of vitality. We now move into the final section, an inspiring and uplifting conclusion. Let's continue. Conclusion. As we arrive at the final moments of this journey, I want you to pause for a quiet, meaningful instant and recognize one essential truth. The power to transform your life has always been within you, no matter your age. 65, 70, or even 80 is not the boundary of decline. It is simply a milestone, a turning point, a stage of life where you can choose to live more deeply, more clearly, and more fully. America was built on the resilience of people who refused to surrender to hardship. And that same spirit is something anyone at any age can carry within themselves. You cannot turn back time, but you can absolutely decide how you will live the rest of your years. And that decision begins with protecting your memory, the priceless foundation that supports every moment, every choice, every emotion, and every relationship you cherish. Remember this: memory is not just the ability to recall events. It is the soul of your life. It holds the laughter of your grandchildren, the presence of the person who walked beside you for decades, the echoes of your youth, the victories, the losses, the experiences that shaped you into who you are. There is nothing more precious than keeping those memories vivid all the way to the end of your journey. The 4 habits we explored were never meant to worry you. They were meant to show you something far more empowering. Your future is still in your hands. The moment you choose to change even just a little, your brain begins to respond with strength and renewal. Every step you walk, every mindful meal, every deep night of sleep, every simple conversation sends a message to your brain: I am living fully. Give yourself the chance to move forward with intention rather than letting life simply carry you along. Give yourself better choices each day. Let aging be not just existence, but living with clarity, freedom, confidence, and a heart that stays warm through meaningful connections. And if you are hearing these words, it means you still care about your health. It means you still want a life of quality and purpose. That journey does not begin tomorrow. It begins right now with the awareness you have gained. Step into the world with a clearer mind. Let your memory be your most loyal companion. Live the way America has always lived: strong, intentional, and unwilling to give in. Thank you for spending your time with this message. Continue taking care of yourself, because you deserve a life that is full, bright, and mentally strong today, tomorrow, and for many years to come.